live and streaming from CBS News, New York. This is CBS2 News This Morning.
Right now, a traffic disaster after a tractor-trailer crash on Route 80. We are live at the scene with the latest on the investigation and what this means for your morning commute.
Plus, Memorial Day weekend just days away, and that means that the beaches are reopening. Only problem, the city is facing a lack of lifeguards again, how it could impact your next visit.
Plus, it's time to set sail. Fleet Week is officially here. Our First Alert weather team is live along the Hudson as the parade of ships is getting underway this morning.
Good morning on this Wednesday, May 22nd. I'm Chris Raggi.
I'm Mary Calvi. Welcome to CBS2 News This Morning, and let's get right to that chaos on Route 80 in New Jersey right now after a horrific crash involving a tractor-trailer.
CBS2's Christina Fan joins us live near the scene in Hackensack with the latest on this breaking story. Christina?
Well, Chris and Mary, at least 2 trucks were involved in this fiery collision. You can see one of them right behind us, the white tractor trailer that is jackknife across Route 80. A second box truck burned beyond recognition is just a pile of rubble now near the sound barrier wall to the left. This accident happened around midnight near exit 66 in Hackensack. Law enforcement responded to a fiery scene with debris scattered all across the westbound lanes. The front end of the tractor trailer is smashed in, and you can even see that pieces of the concrete barrier are missing. Traffic was at a standstill for hours going westbound with cars backed up as far as the eye could see. But about half an hour ago, officers finally reopened one lane going westbound, giving some relief to drivers who likely haven't moved an inch since midnight. Now, to help ease congestion, we know there are signs up all across Bergen County alerting drivers of a major accident on Route 80 this morning and urging drivers to take alternate routes. The traffic pattern here keeps changing. We do want to point out, with officers periodically opening and closing the eastbound lanes as they continue to investigate this crash and try maneuvering machinery in to clear the accident scene. No ETA yet on when all of this will be cleaned up. We also have reached out to state police to see if there were any injuries related to this crash. For more information on the impact of traffic during the morning commute today, we're going to toss it over to Guy.
Thank you, Christina. A big problem for those headed out on the roadways. As Christina just told us, Route 80 remains closed in the express lanes westbound. One lane has reopened westbound near exit 66. The eastbound express lanes are also closed. This is going to be a problem for drivers trying to go westbound. They should stick with routes 46 or 4 to get around this accident scene. Alternate side parking is in effect today citywide. Chris and Mary, back to you.
Okay, Guy, thank you. In our other news this morning, our First Alert weather team is standing by. Tony Sadikum and John Elliott both covering Fleet Week for us this morning. Tony, live at Pier 88 on the west side.
But first, let's get started with John Elliott live in Lower Manhattan. So tell us, where are you now, John?
So here's the deal, Mary and Chris. I'm live just off Pier 88. We're actually looking for Tony. We're going to find Tony and say hi to him. We're on a response boat medium. This is a phenomenal United States Coast Guard boat that is used. You may have seen these in the Hudson coming up a little later in the show. We're going to talk to the crew, a 3-person crew, and what they do. We're also going to talk about how they'll be participating in the parade of ships. We're still looking for Tony. This is so cool. All right, let's look out for you. Today is hot. Today is hot and summer-like. Next few days, wow, we're going to be dealing with some storms. Look at this though, kids. Upper 60s, low 70s, upper 80s. Some thermometers flirting with 90. You're out on the east end, South Shore, you're stuck in the 60s. So it's that kind of variety. Now, again, a summer day today, but remember, with the front on the way, we've got big changes. Your day today hot and steamy, so pace yourself. Lots of fluid. All the kids, the pups, everybody needs more water today. Tomorrow, a much more dynamic yellow alert kind of day. This is where we're going to be dealing with the possibility of thunderstorms midday. And then we salvage a great Friday. If Friday's your getaway day, you're in great shape. We've got some big issues coming in. Well, not big issues. We have some changes for the holiday weekend. Want to right now, though, this is so cool. I know he's right over here somewhere. So we'll magically scan the west side here and send it over to Tony. Tony, we're going to find you, but take it away.
I feel like I'm playing like hide and seek with you, John. We can see you, but you can't see us. There's John. You see him? There he is, right there on that Coast Guard boat right there. And you're going to have to get out of the way, by the way, in a matter of hours. That's where the USS Baton is going to be pulling up here later this morning. We're on Pier 88. Got a beautiful start to the day. That's where the sun is getting ready to come up in the next half hour. Visibility is amazing. In fact, you can see all the way up to the GW Bridge. Beautiful morning. And we're going to be joined by some folks with the Navy Band coming up in just a little bit. Temps upper 60s to start. It's a really comfortable morning too, so any outdoor exercise, you're good to go. Commuting, you're good to go. Just out walking the dog. Wind's a little bit up there, so you'll feel that at times today, as well as an increase in humidity. But just a pretty day, and what a way to welcome so many folks. About 2,300 servicemen and women going to join us in the city today as part of the parade of ships and the kickoff to Fleet Week. Going to be an exciting morning. Of course, we'll bring you much more in the first alert forecast in about 10 minutes. Chris and Mary, we'll send it back to you.
Yeah, can't wait to welcome them to New York. Tony, thank you so much. New York City Beach is set to reopen this weekend, but things will be a little different this season.
Expect to see some closed off sections at beaches as the city tries to work around another lifeguard shortage. CBS 2's Natalie Duddridge is live on the Coney Island Boardwalk this morning with more. Natalie.
Well, Chris, Mary, I'm going to get to lifeguards in just a minute, but I might start a little bit of a friendly competition between Tony, John, and I to see who has the most beautiful shot. We have to take advantage of being at the beach because look at this. Sun's coming up, a nice pink sunrise there right now. I think we win. I've got Alex and Ed, photographers out here, just doing a fantastic job. But yeah, so back to the lifeguard shortage. Fortunately, your beach plans this Memorial Day weekend are not impacted, despite the fact that we have been dealing with this shortage for several years now. So we'll get into some of the stats that we have here. The Parks Department saying it will have only 230 beach lifeguards on staff. That's actually the same number as last year, but what we actually do need are 600 lifeguards to fully staff beaches. So this small number means that, like last year, large sections of beaches will likely be closed to swimmers. That's according to the Parks Commissioner. So you can still come out here, you just might not be able to take advantage of the full beach area. During a kickoff event yesterday, city leaders issued plenty of warnings. Here's what they had to say.
Do not swim without lifeguards on duty. Every year we lose precious members of our communities to drownings.
Last year a lot of the beaches were closed, and when you come to the beach you want to swim.
So officials say more recruits are in training. They are looking for more and more recruits, but it could take until July until they are all trained and ready. And then, of course, starting this Saturday, lifeguards, they will be on duty here. That's from 10 a.m. to 6 p.m. And this, of course, lasts right through September. So this weekend, kickoff to beach season. We're live from Coney Island. Natalie Duddridge, CBS 2 News.
All right, Natalie, thank you. And that is a beautiful scene out there at the beach this morning. The NYPD investigating if at least 3 recent pellet gun shootings in Manhattan and the Bronx are connected. On Sunday night in the Bronx, an MTA worker told police shots were fired at his vehicle on Valentine Avenue, with pellets shattering the driver's side window. In one incident captured on surveillance video at 7:30 Monday morning, a 62-year-old man was struck on Clinton Street on the Lower East Side.
I'm walking along and I see this gentleman on a bike, and he pulls up a big orange super soaker type thing, and next thing I know I'm hitting the wrist. Who goes out in the morning is I'm gonna shoot people randomly with a pellet gun. It's crazy.
About 45 minutes later, he was struck. Police say a similar incident happened on 5th Avenue near 35th Street in Midtown. A 47-year-old man was struck in the back with a gel blaster pellet.
On Long Island today, investigators are expected to be back at the home of the accused Gilgo Beach serial killer. Police spent a second day scouring Rex Heuermann's Massapequa home yesterday for potential evidence. They were seen carrying items out of the house. Heuermann is accused of murdering 4 women whose remains were found near Gilgo Beach 13 years ago.
Another lawsuit accusing music mogul Sean Diddy Combs of sexual assault. According to the New York Times, former model Crystal McKinney claims Combs assaulted her at his Manhattan recording studio back in 2003. The suit filed yesterday. McKinney says she was given alcohol and marijuana and believes it was laced. Combs is accused of sexually assaulting several other women, including his former girlfriend, singer Cassie. He has not responded to a request for comment on this latest case.
An update this morning. Police make an arrest in a shooting at a recording studio in Midtown. A 26-year-old man was shot in the head March 8th. And now 23-year-old Ezekiel Adamson of Brooklyn is charged with attempted murder. We're told the music building on 8th Avenue near 38th Street has been a popular space for many famous musicians like Madonna and Billy Idol. The victim is still in critical condition at Bellevue.
It is 9 minutes after the hour. Coming up, a community group wants the Randall's Island migrant shelter shut down. Their threat for legal action and why the city says it has no other options.
Terror in the skies. A flight hit with turbulence so severe that dozens of passengers were hurt. One of them died. New details about what it was like on board.
Summer breeze makes me feel fine, blowing through the jasmine in my mind.
Welcome back to CBS2 News this morning. Guess what? That summer breeze you're going to feel today's going to be hot. Hazy, hot, and humid out there. Let's check in with our first alert weather team. Meteorologist John Elliott and Tony Studigo both outside the building today. Let's start with Tony out at Pier 88 on the west side. Hopefully there is a decent summer breeze. At least you're on the water, so it's going to be a little cooler for you.
A little bit. We're feeling that breeze, but it's a refreshing breeze for us. Temps upper 60s as we hang out Pier 88 and spy on John, who's right over there, and working with Vince this morning. There he is. I guess the trick of hide and seek is get up high, right? And then that way you don't have to be spotted. Beautiful day yesterday, numbers low 80s. Got a nice stretch of 80s. In fact, probably our longest stretch of 80-degree temperatures of the year. So more warmth on the way. Let me show you where we're starting things off this morning. We're, again, very mild for most, at least in the city. There are some cooler pockets out there too. Talking 50s, parts of Jersey, Sussex 56, but you're not going to need the long sleeves or light jacket for long because, I mean, now that the sun getting ready to come up, numbers are going the other way, and it's going to make for a fast warm up today. I want to show you the difference this time yesterday, okay? So, yeah, those numbers are warmer by a bunch. Parts of our air, double-digit difference. Some of that a reflection of higher humidity moving in, which isn't too bad right now, but you're going to feel it progressively during the day today and then especially tomorrow. That fueling the threat for storms. So we'll be watching for that later on. But a gorgeous looking day start to finish. Of course, a lot of sun. So for the parade of ships happening this morning, you can't ask for better weather. Sun is shining. There are no weather threats. Instead, temperatures ranging from the mid 60s to the 70s the later we go. So this is going to be like an all morning situation that will end with the USS Baton docking right here at Pier 88. Going to be a fun morning. Of course, we'll have much more, as you can perhaps see some members of the Navy band getting all warmed up. But for now, I want to send it right down onto the Hudson with John and much more on that forecast. You've got some changes to talk about.
I got to tell you, is this the coolest thing ever, Tony? I mean, you're right there. I love that. And a beautiful vantage point
honestly,
there.
The closest I've been to you.
I know. We've never been this close. If only I was a better swimmer. Yeah. So this is an honor to be to be invited to spend the morning here with the U.S. Coast Guard. We're going to talk to Lieutenant Commander Katie Blue in just a second. Want to get you prepared, though, for the next few days. Tony has set the stage for today. Remember, it's a yellow alert tomorrow. A yellow alert means the weather is going to impact your ability to get around safely. That means we're concerned about some midday showers and storms with potential severe weather. Severe thunderstorms can pack gusty winds, heavy downpours and hail. The wind threshold is 58 miles an hour. Again, that can do some damage. Let's show you how it plays out. Using the computer model guidance, and we're going to skip ahead to save time. You're fine today. It's just a sizzler. It feels like summer with the exception of the South Shore. Look at the timestamp on top of the TV screen, and you're going to see these storms, not so much tonight or tomorrow morning. It's tomorrow midday. This has been been a consistent feature with this guidance. You've got this line of showers with those embedded storms midday, and I know we're getting into the travel for the holiday weekend. Make sure you're ready for that. For Friday getaway, that is much better. We'll leave in a leftover straggler, but the bulk of the worst weather is going to be Thursday, and then Friday shapes up. Now, for the weekend, we do have to bring in the possibility of a shower on Saturday. And Saturday is going to be somewhat busier. We have flipped the script. I know we were talking about Sunday being busier, but it looks like later Saturday, shower with an embedded thunderstorm, not severe at this time, and then Monday. So it's kind of a sandwich. So you are going to be dodging some drops, and it will be cooler into the weekend. Hey, speaking of cool, in another sense, it is an honor to be on this response boat medium, United States Coast Guard boat. Katie Blue, a lieutenant commander with the Coast Guard. Wow! What do you love about being in the Coast Guard?
I have been afforded so many opportunities in the last 15 years. I have been to Africa, I've been to Greenland, I've been down in South America. I can't begin to tell you how cool it is to be in the Coast Guard. And when you love what you do, you really don't feel like you're working. And that's how I feel about the Coast Guard.
We didn't even rehearse this. How cool is Fleet Week?
You know what? I was here back in 2006. I was a cadet at the Coast Guard Academy at the time, and I did my summer on the Catherine Walker, which you're going to see here today. And so this really feels like a full circle moment to be back here in 2024 participating in Fleet Week.
Well, great. I can't wait to meet the crew, and we'll talk more about some of the other Coast Guard vessels that are going to be participating. NYPD, a little organization called the United States Navy. So we're going to have some more fun, and I accept Natalie's challenge to get you great shots, because I believe we will be the only one that will give you the Statue of Liberty later. Right now, though, we're going to send things back to you guys in the studio.
Oh boy, the competition's certainly on. All right, John, thank you so much, and great to hear from her. Let's get you to First Alert Traffic. We're going to hear from Guy Stanier. How are we doing right now on Route 80, Guy?
Well, Mary, we're going to take a look at this video shot just a little while ago. A crazy scene in Hackensack, New Jersey this morning. All lanes remain closed in the express lanes in both directions on Route 80 between exit 65 and 64. 2 lanes remain closed westbound in the local lanes. We have an accident investigation ongoing involving a jackknife tractor trailer. At one point, a vehicle was on fire. Debris littered all over the roadway. Westbound delays are back to the 95 merge in Ridgefield Park. Drivers headed westbound, you're going to want to use Route 46 or Route 4 to get around this scene. Alternate side parking is in effect today citywide. Chris and Mary, back to you.
Okay, Guy, thank you. Singapore Airlines CEO apologizing this morning after a flight hit by severe turbulence left a man dead and dozens hurt.
The plane encountered sudden and extreme turbulence yesterday at 37,000 feet over the Indian Ocean and was forced to make an emergency landing in Bangkok. A 73-year-old British man died of a possible heart attack. Passengers described a sudden drop during a meal service that left people bloodied, overhead bins and oxygen masks dangling, dented ceilings, and debris everywhere.
But there was so much screaming, and it was when I realised the gravity of it when I looked over my shoulder and saw the people sitting behind me with a lady who had a big gash in her head and blood pouring down her face. And then, as we know, a gentleman passed away, and that gentleman was sitting right behind me.
There were 211 passengers and 18 crew on board Flight 321 from London to Singapore. 30 people were taken to the hospital, according to the airline, with 7 in critical condition. An American is reportedly among the injured. A community group is threatening legal action to get a migrant shelter off of Randall's Island. The Randall's Island Park Alliance says the city broke the law by setting up a 3,000-bed migrant shelter without following the legal process for using parkland for a non-park use. The group sent a letter to Mayor Adams saying it is prepared to use all legal recourse if the city does not vacate the shelter by August 8th. The city says it is out of other options.
We don't have alternatives. And so this is a way that we're able to stretch our resources and house people and really continue to keep a pace with the flow of migrants.
The group wants the city to come up with a plan to remove the shelter by June 14th.
On our Money Watch, futures are down this morning as investors await earnings reports from companies like Nvidia and Target. A report on existing home sales will also be out today. On Wall Street yesterday, the S&P and the Nasdaq had record closes. The Dow rose 66, S&P gaining 13, the Nasdaq adding 37 on the day.
Up next, good news about the Yankees ace.
And Aaron Rodgers says the rumors about him possibly being a VP candidate were true. He'll explain what stopped him from doing it.
We're looking forward to the parade of ships sailing in this morning. We have Tony Sadiku out there on a beautiful morning. Hi, Tony.
Cannot beat this morning, Mary. Temperatures still, very mild, but relatively comfortable. The humidity surge hasn't quite arrived, but it's coming, right? And we got to enjoy days like this. I think it's our last warm and sunny day. Tomorrow's going to be warm, but we're losing some of the sun as storms return. I want to show you really quickly our mobile weather lab reading 68 degrees at the moment, about 10 minutes till sunrise, and we're like way above normal by like 10 degrees. The temperature trend shows that those numbers will continue to climb in the days ahead, but at least staying in the 80s through Thursday and Friday. So can we string together 4 straight days in the 80s? It'll be our first time this year, but today temps 10-15 degrees above normal. That 87, if we hit it, would be our warmest we've been thus far this year, dating back to April 29th. So that is the challenge for our Wednesday today. Going to be a fun morning out here, Pier 88. Perhaps you've heard some of the Navy band Northeast warming up. We're going to perhaps hear from them in the next half hour. Have much more on that first alert forecast. Everything to expect. Mayor and Chris coming up at 5:30.
Okay, Tony, looking forward to that. Now for a check of your first alert traffic report and that tractor trailer crash we've been talking about on Route 80. Let's get to Guy Stanier now with the latest.
That's right, Chris. We're going to take a look at this video shot just a little while ago. A crazy scene in Hackensack, New Jersey this morning. All lanes remain closed in the express lanes in both directions on Route 80 between exits 65 and 64. 2 lanes remain closed westbound in the local lanes. We have an accident investigation ongoing involving a jackknife tractor trailer. 1 point, the vehicles were on fire. Debris littered all over the roadway. Westbound delays are back to the 95 merge in Ridgefield Park. Drivers headed westbound are going to want to use Route 46 or Route 4 to get around this scene. Alternate side parking is in effect today citywide. Chris and Mary, back to you.
Okay, Guy, thank you. In sports, it looks like injured Yankee starter Garrett Cole's making some progress with his recovery.
And Jets quarterback Aaron Rodgers says he's sticking with football instead of politics. Otis Livingston has your morning sports.
Good morning, everyone. The Yankees have the best starting pitching in baseball. Well, looks like the rich are getting richer. Garrett Cole threw to live hitters yesterday at Yankee Stadium. He hit 96 on the gun. When asked if he could join the rotation in June, Cole said, "I wouldn't rule it out." Yankees Mariners Clark Schmidt wishes he could have this pitch back. In the third, the 9-hitter Dylan Moore takes him deep for a 2-run homer, the only run Schmidt allowed in 6 innings. The M starter Brian Wu had Yankee hitters fooled all night, striking out 7, including Juan Soto twice, that left him shaking his head. Mariners building a 4-run lead, but Yankees get 3 of them back on 1 swing. Gleyber Torres with a 3-run home run. But the Mariner offense wouldn't go away as they added on more. Dylan Moore, that's his 2nd of the game. The Yankees get doubled up and lose 6-3. Mets in Cleveland. 3 times the Mets trailed by 3, and 3 times they hit 2-run homers. The 3rd time came off the bat of Starling Marte to make it 7-6. Same score in the 9th. They could use another 2-run bomb. Instead, Cleveland turns 2 on the Pete Alonso ground ball. That's the ball game. Mets fall to 6 games under 500. Aaron Rodgers taking some practice passes at OTAs yesterday, looking like he's fully healthy, moving around well. The NFL is excited about his return. They certainly are. 6 primetime games. Rodgers calling this a potential do-or-die season for him and the Jet organization. He loves the pressure, so much so that he turned down a shot at being RFK Jr.'s running mate.
I love Bobby. We had a couple really nice conversations, but there were really 2 options. It was retire and be his VP or keep playing, and I want to keep playing.
All right, game 1 of the Eastern Conference Final tonight at the Garden. The Rangers host the Panthers. I'm Otis Livingston. That's your CBS New York Sports Update.
And still ahead, new threats to election security involving artificial intelligence. How officials are tackling the emerging technology before voters head to the polls.
And we've been following that breaking news, that fiery tractor trailer crash on I-80. We are live with the investigation and how to navigate around this huge crash scene this morning for your morning commute. We'll be right back.